The Truth Occurs.
Hi everyone. So I've been investigating this mysterious disappearance of Flight 370, Malaysia Airlines, last Saturday. Actually, when I first heard this, I was like, oh, plane crash, that sucks. But then as I looked into it more, I found that, yeah, something is really strange. Something doesn't add up here. You know, I had to look into it further. And basically, I just have a few links here with some information I think you might like. And maybe then you could just tell me what you think. There's some articles coming out now saying that maybe what happened was there was a crack in the plane and that this led to a loss of oxygen. It'd be like the pilot would be drunk, kind of like in an intoxicated state from lack of oxygen, and that this would happen very suddenly, and explain why they didn't communicate. It explains some of it, but it doesn't explain all of it. Well, there was the question of why were the passengers' phones ringing? Normally, if you're in a plane, your phone's not supposed to work. So it'd be like, why is the phone even ringing? It may just be that the system was trying to route the call to the phone, and while it's trying to figure out where, to send the call, that there's ringing in the interim, even though it's not going to connect, but it just has to do with the way it's connecting to the system, trying to find the end recipient of the call. And so there's this time where it would ring, but it doesn't mean that the phone was actually anywhere where it could have really connected or been picked up. And then there was a question of inaccurate passenger records and stolen passports. So a couple of people who were listed on the flight manifest turned out not to have been on the flights at all, and it was revealed that their passports had been stolen. So I guess this could happen, although it's a bit weird how easy it seems to be to steal people's passports and then just take planes with them. So CNN here addresses many mysterious things about the flight, the disappearing plane. And so they cover a lot of different things here. Did it go off course? Was it a transponder problem? Why did it stop working? Where's the data and voice recorders? A lot of different things. Could the pilot have flown under the radar? Also, they mentioned, could it have been terrorism? Could it have been hijacked? And, they make the case for whatever their point is for each of these individual things. And I guess if you just read this, you could say, well, it could be that the plane just disappeared, and, it's in the ocean, and that's it. It was really just an accident, like a failure, equipment failure or something like that. And you could just sort of want to leave it at that. And yet then there's other stuff that's weird and shows that there's even more that has really not been explained about what happened to the plane. Such as this: 6 important facts you're not being told about lost Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. But according to this, all black box recorders transmit locator signals for at least 30 days after falling into the ocean. So they should at least be able to figure out where the black box is. If a missile destroyed Flight 370, the missile would have left a radar signature. Good point. So it probably wasn't a missile. I don't think it was terrorism either. It doesn't make any sense. The location of the aircraft when it vanished is not a mystery. So they know the location, elevation, and airspeed. So then why are they discussing whether the guy could have flown under the radar? I mean, if they know the elevation, then they should already have the answer to that question. Their air safety investigators have seen mid-air explosions before, and they would know the difference between a plane that exploded or vanished. Makes sense to me. If the flight was hijacked, it would not have vanished from the radar. I think it's pretty clear it didn't get hijacked. So they say, conclusion, Flight 370 did not explode, it vanished. I think that there's a possibility that what we're dealing with here is a Twilight Zone type of phenomena, where, it could have been abducted by aliens, it could have been hit by a directed energy weapon, it's something really out of the ordinary. Maybe there is a pyramid down in the bottom of the ocean, like in the Bermuda Triangle, and that sucked the plane down. They recently found a pyramid at the bottom of the Bermuda Triangle, and that's why all these planes and things have been getting sucked down in there. So maybe they should be looking for a pyramid instead of the black box. Oh wait, Snopes says this whole rumor about the crystal pyramid is false. the researcher who claimed to have found it could never prove it because he didn't have the pictures because they were supposedly destroyed, which he has no proof of either. And so the whole thing is a conspiracy theory and a hoax and should not be believed. But of course, if it really had happened, his pictures probably would have been destroyed because the people who maintain the order of things and the status quo would not want this kind of information to get out. So this proves nothing. And who is Snopes anyway? Probably just another psychological operations disinfo site. So they should still be looking for the pyramid. It seems like those things actually make more sense than, you know, losing oxygen or flying under the radar. There's just too much unexplained stuff for it to be explainable in a normal way. Of course, maybe there's just something I've missed, and down the road we'll find out that there was a more kind of normal explanation for it and not supernatural phenomena. But as long as it hasn't been disproven, as far as I'm concerned, it's on the table. Oh, and I know that there are some people out there who kind of take the view that everything they see in the news is not real and it's just fabricated just because they want us to talk about it. I don't subscribe to that. I think that there's been this like sort of psychological operation on the activist community, YouTubers, and, you know, the whole online truth seeker community in recent years to get people just so completely confused that they no longer even will you know, research and realize when there's something askew, but they'll just go straight to saying like none of it ever happened, and it makes everybody look crazy. I really think that this kind of stuff is planted in there. It's just to completely destroy the alternative media and the truth seekers, activist community, and so far they seem to have been doing a good job with that. And so I would not even entertain the idea that this didn't happen. I think probably it did happen, and it's just something very strange that happened. And I hope that eventually there's an explanation, because it must be really hard for those families to not have any kind of closure. So let me know what you think, and thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.